Hey everyone, it's Kyle from Cool Collectibles, back again for another review. This time it's the Sideshow Collectibles 1/6 scale Zuckuss from Empire Strikes Back. For all your 1/6 scale figures and more, click the link in the description below to head on over to Sideshow Collectibles. They ship worldwide, so definitely check them out. Alright, as you know, I got Dengar yesterday, and I was pretty happy with that overall. And today I finally got Zuckuss to finally, after all of these years of Sideshow teasing us, completing the Bounty Hunter gang from Empire Strikes Back. And overall, I am also really happy with this figure, although there is one major thing that I am pretty damn scared about, but we'll get to that shortly. So the box art that you can see there, standard sort of style, as with all the other Star Wars figures. You get the cover art there, and that's, I guess, pretty much his pose from the movie, and that's what I'll be sticking with. You get alternate art on the back there with his swap out hands, and I think there's another shot on the inside here that you see there. So that's pretty much the packaging. Accessories wise, he doesn't come with too much. Pretty much a pair of swap out hands and his rifle. And the rifle itself, fairly nicely done. The wood grain here isn't too bad. It's fairly subtle, but it's not too bad. And it would have been nice if there was a bit more silver wash or weathering on it, but it is a nice sort of unique rifle for this character. He does get a couple of swap out hands with the nice wrist pegs there, and I think this one is for him to hold the rifle in his right hand, whereas in the movie I think he is left-handed. So I think that's the way they've come out of the box, but I'll check that in a second. But onto the figure. I did forget to mention that he also comes with the hexagonal black base, which is the Star Wars standard, and again similar with my other complaints. If only they had just included a nameplate of some sort, that would have made these bases so much better. But now we'll get on to the figure. Alright, if there's a figure or a character that Sideshow does well, 9 times out of 10 I reckon they do their aliens pretty well. And I think with Zuckuss, they've done a pretty damn great job as well with this head sculpt in particular. I love the details. I wasn't actually expecting these sort of translucent bug eyes there, so I like the way they've done that. I don't think there's any way to get any sort of light piping or anything like that in there, but that sort of a translucent grey there is a nice effect, similar to the way they did the Forlom sort of translucent green eyes, I think. But this mouthpiece is done pretty well, and the sort of skin texture and paint application on the alien head, all the different variations in the scales and the texturing there is really nicely done. I would be a little bit careful with these little attachments here for his, I'm assuming this is his breathing apparatus. They do come a little bit tangled at the back there, but I'm just straightening them out, and then they just sort of, I think they're meant to just dangle there like that. They do have these rubber pieces dangling down from his sides here. I'm not sure if you can sort of adjust it to be a bit more symmetrical, depending on how OCD you are, but I'd be careful to try and not push it too far, just in case you sort of split the connection point there. I think the prototype probably had the connection point a little bit more seamless. You can sort of see the seam there, but overall it's not too bad, and these are long enough and flexible enough that he can sort of rotate his head and not get too stuck or pulled back into position. So overall I think they've done that pretty well, and I think those just come around and I think they just get tucked under the back there, so they just I can see the tip of it there. I don't know if that's just meant to be that way or if it's actually attached to the belt. I can't seem to pull it out any, so maybe it is glued or attached to the back of the belt there, but I'm not going to try and pull that too much. But for those of you brave enough to play around with it, you might check how that's connected back there. But that's pretty much the head sculpt, and these attachments. It's all nicely painted and textured with that sort of alien style, and they've done a pretty damn good job of it. This sort of, I don't know what you call this leather sort of pouch setup of his is pretty damn good. I do like the way they've used this sort of fake leather. I think it could have been maybe, I don't know if the movie just had a darker shade or if it was a lighter shade, I'll have to go back to some screenshots, but it's not probably perfectly movie accurate in its color tone, but in the scheme of things, I think it looks pretty damn good. The way they've done the tailoring, and even this sort of big pouch at the front here has magnets on it. A bit sloppy on the glue work there, but I guess you don't see it, and that sort of just snaps shut. These ones here, oh, it looks like those have magnets as well, so I guess these open up. I don't think there's anything in there except maybe some foam padding to just give it that padded look, but it certainly does look fantastic on him. And then it comes around on the back to this sort of piece there. Nothing, I think this is just plastic, so not a real wire, but the sort of rust work and weathering on the back piece here is actually quite nice. I do like the bronzing effect that they've put on there. And the back of the belt, I'm not sure if that, I think that's just glued on, but yeah, the overall design, tailoring, and texture of the material is very nice. The undersuit, he is wearing something under this big brown coat of his, so I'm not sure if you can make it out. Probably not, and I'm not game enough to remove everything, to be honest. But under this thing here, you can sort of make out maybe just some of the detailing on the boots. So he's got a bit of shin armor that they put on there, and the boots are quite nice. They're like a soft rubber material, so you can get a bit of articulation in there. And I actually prefer this material over the Hot Toys sort of fake leather, to be quite honest. And he does have a set of sort of khaki type pants on there, I think. And underneath here, you can probably just make out the sleeve. He's got like one of those sort of cotton style flexible shirts on. So I guess that's pretty much just the undersuit that they put on there, which they probably didn't have to do, but adds another layer of detail in there. But I guess the main aspect of this figure is the coat itself. And I have to say, the material scares the shit out of me, to be honest. It's like I mean, it looks great. It's got the really nice sort of worn leather type weathered look to it, which is nice, which is, you know, what sort of collectors ask for. But I'm not sure if this is the only way that they can get that to happen. Maybe it is, I don't know. But it's got a very sort of hard, almost sandpaper-like feel to it all the way around. The inside is cloth, but this outside is like, I don't know how they treated it, but it almost feels like it's been sun-dried or even painted. I wasn't even sure if it was painted, to be honest, or had some sort of a chemical added to it to give it that really hard sort of coarse texture to it. But because of that, any sort of articulation and bending, I think really runs the risk of cracking this material. You know, we've recently seen a lot of photos of the Hot Toys Eric Draven, you know, the Crow figure, and Indiana Jones's jacket and so on, where there's, you know, cracks in the material, or the material's flaking over time and so on. And I just really have a feeling that this is going to do exactly that. I had a part where I think just along his elbow here that was bent, and it sort of looked like it was almost going to crack already. And I guess to get him into that gun holding pose, you are going to need to bend his elbows. So, you know, creasing this section here right in the middle over time, you know, if you can see that sort of crease there, I can just see a split happening right along those creases over time. So I'm not sure if I'm game enough to pose him like that. I guess I am a little anal on trying to retain the sort of longevity of these figures. They are bloody expensive, to be honest. But it is a bit boring, I guess, to just have him sitting there with standing there with his arms by his side. But definitely with this coat on, you're not going to be able to get this figure into any sort of dynamic action poses, that's for sure. The legs themselves, I mean, Dengar had some serious articulation issues with the suit. This guy's knees do bend, but again, this suit I can't really get access and bend his hips to any great degree. You can sort of split the legs out and give him a wider stance, which is okay. The arms, again, the jacket sort of really feels like it's hindering, so I can't really get it much higher than that, to be honest. And it does feel like something's stopping it there, so I might play around with that a little bit just to have a look. But his elbows do bend slightly, so I might, I don't know if it's something that I need to add some sort of cream or moisturizer or something to make sure that that doesn't crack if I bend his elbows slightly. But maybe just futz that somehow to have a nice crease, so it doesn't have too many sharp edges or anything like that to any great degree. So articulation wise, this guy is pretty limited, similar to Dengar, so a shame there. But I guess with all the bounty hunters, you know, with IG88, he's not getting into any dynamic poses anytime soon, and neither is Forlom. I think probably the one with the most articulation would have to be Bosk, I think, the original Boss, and that one even came with a couple of action feet to swap out to get him into kneeling positions and things like that. And I think the flight suit suited that, but this jacket here on Zuckuss and the overall underlying body, I think, really doesn't suit it at all. So that's pretty much it, I think, for the figure. I hope you like that quick look. I will be, I was going to take them all out of the cabinet, but it is pretty late now in Australia, so I'll probably wait till the weekend to do that. And I am due to do a collection update video as well, so I'll probably do that this weekend and post up some more photos on the Facebook page with the bounty hunters and Han in carbonite. So hopefully you can give this video a like and a subscribe, and stay tuned for, I have been raving on about the Blitzway Ghostbusters set. I do have that review hopefully coming over the weekend as well, but hopefully you can stay tuned to the Cool Collectibles Facebook page for all the upcoming photos that I'll post on there as well. So thanks again, hopefully you like that look, and stay tuned to all the other videos coming up. So thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers.